she asked. "For a divorce on my birthday. What happened?" Nex left her speechless. The night my wife asked for a divorce was supposed to be the happiest birthday of my life. Instead, it became the night everything changed. And what happened 3 months later left her completely speechless. My name is Ethan Parker, and this happened in Chicago, Illinois. I had just turned 42. My wife, Lauren, and I had been married for 16 years. We had a beautiful home in the suburbs, a 13-year-old daughter named Sophie, and what I believed was a solid life together, or at least that's what I thought. That evening, I came home carrying a small birthday cake from my favorite bakery. The house was unusually quiet. No decorations, no music, no birthday dinner. Just silence. Lauren was sitting at the dining table. Her expression felt cold, almost rehearsed. "Happy birthday," she said softly. Something immediately felt wrong. I placed the cake on the counter. "Everything okay?" She looked down at her hands. Then she took a deep breath. "Ethan, I want a divorce." For a moment, I honestly thought she was joking. I even laughed. But she didn't. Her face never changed. The room suddenly felt smaller. "What?" "I've been unhappy for years." The words hit harder than any punch. "Years?" I asked. She nodded. "I can't keep pretending anymore." My heart sank. 16 years together. A daughter, a family, and she was ending it on my birthday. But then she said something that made it even worse. "There might be someone else." The air left my lungs. Someone else? Who? How long? I wanted answers. But Lauren stood up. "I don't want to fight." Then she walked upstairs, leaving me alone beside my untouched birthday cake. And that was only the beginning. The next morning, Lauren moved into the guest room. By the end of the week, she had hired a lawyer. Everything was happening fast. Too fast. It felt like she had planned this for months, maybe years. Then one afternoon, Sophie came into my home office. "Dad?" "Yeah, sweetheart?" She hesitated. "Mom's been talking to someone." My stomach tightened. "What do you mean?" I saw her smiling at her phone. Sophie's voice dropped. She never smiles like that anymore. I tried to hide my reaction, but inside something broke, because deep down, I already knew. There was someone else. The question was who? And soon, I got my answer. 2 weeks later, I saw them. Lauren was sitting at a restaurant downtown, across from a man. They were laughing, holding hands. The sight felt like a knife through my chest. I didn't confront them. I simply turned around and left. But as I walked away, I noticed something strange. The man looked familiar, very familiar. Yet I couldn't place him. Not then. Not yet. And that mystery would change everything. Over the next month, the divorce process moved forward. Lauren seemed happier than I'd seen her in years. Almost relieved. Meanwhile, I focused on Sophie. I drove her to school, helped with homework, made dinner, tried to keep life normal. But one evening, Sophie asked a question that stopped me cold. "Dad, did you ever give up something important for Mom?" I smiled sadly. "More times than I can count." She looked surprised. "Like what?" I thought about it. Then I told her the truth. Years ago, I had been offered a major position in Seattle. It would have doubled my salary, changed my career. But Lauren didn't want to move away from Chicago, so I stayed. I never regretted it, because I chose my family. At least I thought I did. Sophie quietly nodded. Then she said something unexpected. "I don't think Mom knows everything you've done." Neither did I, but fate was about to reveal it. A few weeks later, my lawyer called. Ethan, there's something you should see. He emailed several financial documents. I opened them and froze. There were large transfers from our joint account. Money had been disappearing for almost a year, thousands of dollars. The destination? A business startup. The owner? The man from the restaurant. Suddenly, I remembered where I'd seen him before. His name was Ryan Bennett, a former coworker from Lauren's office, the same coworker she'd claimed was just a friend. But the betrayal went deeper, much deeper. Ryan's business was failing, drowning in debt. Lauren hadn't just fallen in love. She had been secretly funding him, using our savings. Savings meant for Sophie's college education. My hands shook. I couldn't believe it, but I still didn't confront her. Not yet. Because something told me the truth wasn't finished unfolding. And I was right. 3 days before the divorce hearing, Lauren knocked on my door. For the first time in months, "Ethan, can we talk?" I nodded. She sat down. Her eyes were red. "What happened?" I asked. She looked away. "Ryan lied to me." I said nothing. "He told me he loved me." Tears rolled down her face. "But he was seeing someone else." The room went silent. He took the money and disappeared. For the first time, I saw genuine regret. Not because she lost Ryan, because she finally understood what she had destroyed. But there was one final twist neither of us expected. The next morning, my phone rang. It was Ryan's business partner. Apparently, Ryan had been investigated for fraud. Multiple investors were suing him, including Lauren. And because most of the stolen money had been documented, authorities were able to freeze several accounts. Weeks later, a large portion of the missing funds was recovered, enough to restore Sophie's college savings. The crisis was finally ending, or so I thought. Then came the day of the final divorce hearing. Lauren sat quietly across from me. Different from before. The confidence was gone. The excitement was gone. Reality had finally arrived. When the judge finalized everything, Lauren began crying. Outside the courthouse, she stopped me. "Ethan." I turned. She struggled to speak. "I made the biggest mistake of my life." I remained silent. She wiped her tears. "I threw away 16 years for a fantasy." The words hung in the air. Then she asked the question I never expected. "Do you think you could ever forgive me?" I looked at her for a long moment. The woman standing before me wasn't the same person who asked for a divorce on my birthday. Life had humbled her. Pain had changed her. And despite everything, I didn't hate her. "I forgive you, Lauren." Her eyes filled with tears. "But forgiveness doesn't always mean a second chance." She lowered her head, because deep down, she already knew. Some doors close forever. Over the following year, life slowly improved. Sophie thrived in school. I started my own consulting company. The business grew faster than I imagined. For the first time in years, I felt genuinely happy. Not because I got revenge, not because Lauren suffered, but because I survived. I rebuilt. I moved forward. One afternoon, Sophie and I visited a university campus she dreamed of attending. As we walked across the beautiful grounds, she smiled at me. "You know, Dad? What? You never gave up on us." I felt my throat tighten. "No matter what happened, you stayed." At that moment, I realized something important. The greatest victory wasn't proving someone wrong. It was becoming stronger after they underestimated you. As for Lauren, she eventually rebuilt her own life too. Not with me, but with the lessons she learned. And perhaps that was the ending we both needed. Because Sometimes losing everything is the only way to discover what truly mattered all along. And the birthday that began with heartbreak ultimately became the beginning of a brand new life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.